I keep this picture on my workbench because it makes me laugh. This is the last time my dad ever went near a motorcycle. That's him on the back with his brother riding his CB750. I don't know what happened that day, where my uncle went, or how fast he was going. The only thing my dad will share is, "Your uncle scared the hell out of me." This was the road. The one I dreamed of riding when I finished the CB750. The one where the chrome would shine its brightest, and the engine could finally stretch its wings around twists and turns on a bright and cool Saturday morning. And yet it was still so far away. Getting stuck a mile away from home was not part of my fantasy.
Sure is a pretty day to break down.
But it did become part of my education. Hey guys, welcome back, and sorry to keep you hanging on that last episode. Obviously I was fine, sorry for the cheesy cliffhanger, but I did some dumb things before I went out on my ride. I got a little too confident after going around the block a couple times. Really pushed things when I shouldn't have.
That's awesome. Did I just kill the engine? Please tell me I'm not out of fuel. I wonder if it got clogged with something. That's some nasty looking stuff in there.
Yeah, there were some things I forgot to check. I shined a flashlight in that gas tank weeks previous and didn't see anything in the upper chamber of the tank, so I thought, that's fine. Sure, it's fine, no big deal. Didn't really look in the bottom of the tank where the 40-year-old varnished fuel sat, along with rust that was in the recesses that I also did not see. And so I had to learn the hard way that if you're not thorough, you're going to pay the price.
Oh my gosh, it's like sewage. That looks so bad.
And as well as the front brake. The brake was fine when I left, but as I started using it, that's when the issue, I think, started to come into play.
It is a little harder to want to go like real fast on this because it is, you feel like it's pulling more on the bike to do that.
We'll discover what that is, and we'll definitely have to fix that because that you don't want your front brake locking up. Anyway, let's get this bike fixed. I am tired of being in this garage, smelling fuel and oil and all these other things. I mean, I do like to tinker, but I like to ride more. So let's finally get this bike done. The first order of business was to drain out as much of that crap as I could.
It's like taco seasoning.
Okay. I honestly think after just shaking all that crap out, we're probably fine. But I'm gonna clean this thing anyway.
Before the vinegar treatment, I decided to add screws as an abrasive, the idea being I could shake it around to dislodge any stubborn residue. After that, I just added 1 jug of vinegar so I could slosh it around for maximum sloshability. Then it was time to fill it up to the brim. So glad I decided to go for the deep clean. There was still plenty of bad stuff I could not see. After letting it sit for 3-4 hours, I drained what I could. To neutralize the acidity, I immediately added a box of baking soda, which I would then combine with water. So this would be the hard way to get the screws out. I quickly switched to a telescopic magnet, which proved to be much easier. Then I opened up all the ports and let fresh water run through it for about 5 minutes or so. Lastly, to protect it from rust, I added a bottle of Marvel's Mystery Oil and sloshed that around before removing it. So let's see where we are with this tank now. It's hard to tell with this cheap camera, but I think it's better. And now we realize we have another problem. The exhaust for cylinder 1 is no longer getting hot. And that is the expression of me realizing I have to take the carbs off yet again. I guess the filter didn't get everything. Carb 1 had crud in it, which I cleaned. And finally, the bike is running again as it should. All right, on to the brakes. The brakes was another example of me thinking I had things clean when I really didn't have them clean enough. When I put the caliper seal inside of the caliper, there was actually old residue from the old seal and dirt and things like that. That debris was pushing the seal to grab onto the caliper tightly. As you can see in this footage here, I'm pushing it in and I shouldn't have to push it in. It should very freely move back and forth. I just thought, oh, it's got some tension and then the fluid will do its magic, but that's not how it works. But now that's cleaned out, the brake is no longer stuck, so that's just another good check mark off the list. And also something to just carry with me in the future. If I restore another bike, I will definitely do that differently. I will not take that for granted. Here's your opportunity, guys. Learn from my mistakes. But also remember that mistakes are part of this. You're not going to go through a project you've never done before and do it perfectly. I'm hoping I can encourage other people who are intimidated by this and say, look, you make a mistake, it's okay. You learn, you fix it, move on. That's what you got to do. Have to take the pistons out first, dummy. Hammered it in from one side and the whole thing just shattered. I'm stumped. Started cross-threading it and completely ruined it, trying to see if I can figure out a way to get this bike working.
That's what it's supposed to do. Something else is still wrong.
Ask Mom about that jump starter thing she just got from work.
I'd like to do a little lessons learned with all this. I know I'm not really a teacher or in a position to be a teacher with this topic, but I am in a position to share with you my own mistakes. And as they say, a smart man learns from his own mistakes, and a wise man learns from the mistakes of others. So here's your opportunity to be wise. Number one, if you finish a bike or even want to test ride a bike that you don't know anything about, do not leave far from home. That's probably an obvious one. That's just a dumb mistake I made. Don't attempt to do that. You can get yourself in a lot of trouble, and I'm lucky that I was okay. Number two, do not take the gas tank for granted. You could have a dirty gas tank that has actually gotten you pretty far, and then all of a sudden there's an accumulation of something and you're stuck because the carburetor cannot send fuel through. So definitely be very careful of the gas tank. Always use a filter. The filter really saved me because I think if I hadn't had the filter on, I would have no way of like disconnecting it and dumping it and then reconnecting it just to get home. So filter was a safety mechanism in this situation for sure. The other thing is pay really careful attention to the riding characteristics when you first ride the bike. When you saw me in the last ride, I was making a comment about how the engine was pulling and it was really taking a lot for the engine to accelerate. Well, that was the front brake. The front brake was what was holding the engine back, because after I rode the bike with that resolved, engine was fantastic. Totally different experience. So as you're riding, pay careful attention to what the bike is doing, and if you're not sure, pull over and check it, and don't risk it. You're going to take risks because of your lack of understanding, and fortunately, a lot of times there's a way out of it. You just don't want to have to take those risks unnecessarily, and again, that's why I'm sharing this, because I don't want you to. There is really so much to learn with this. I mean, I've always been handy. I've always been a kind of a tinkerer kind of guy. But in terms of engines, I'd never really dug into something to this degree. And I found that it's its own world of knowledge that you have to have a foundation to do. It's a lot of work, and I was one of those people who, when I'd get my car fixed, I'd complain about, oh, that's so expensive. And yeah, things are expensive, but I think it's good to remember that it is a lot of work. Even when you talk about cars are even bigger and they're more cumbersome at times. Again, it's a newfound respect for people who do this kind of work. And also a newfound love for this kind of work. And I understand why people love it. And it really clicked for me when I started getting exposed to motorcycles, and it's been really fun. It was the day I had been dreaming about, reviving a long-forgotten bike that had a story, and now, a story I was also part of.
All good?
All good.
All right, a great day for it.
Yeah.
And like this bike, I was also changed. What I did was not perfect, not even close. But it was more than I thought I was capable of. And for me, that was enough. So another lesson to learn is try something. Just try it. Sometimes you don't know how much you're gonna love it. Could be cooking, could be learning an instrument or learning a foreign language. It doesn't really matter what it is. I think it's like anything, you just have to jump in. Just jump in and do it. That's what I did here, and I'm so glad I did, really.